Morning, welcome back. And the desk is technically already clean before video, other than just some leftover from the week of printing, building, gluing, soldering. It's been a pretty eventful week. But this is a big update for one of the projects I've been working on, and let me get right to it. This is Pee-wee. Pee-wee started its life off as the Beta Meteor 75 Pro 04, and then been pretty much left alone except for canopy mod, props, the typical shit. And then I wanted to, what in the hell am I listening to? Hold on a second. Let's find something different. There we go. So, I wanted to modify it like everything else and make it better, fly better, and get the props out of the view. I'm using the first generation of the 04 light mod, the wide angle mod thing that slides on there. And I like it. It works. I guess there's a new one out. I don't know too much about it, but that doesn't matter. So I found something online, and if you watched the last video, then you'll understand it. If not, then go back and watch it. I wanted to do a deadcat frame. I had some back in the day, and I loved how they flew. And what a deadcat frame is, for you that don't know, instead of being a traditional X, the front arms kind of get kicked out to the side more, and then the rears get crunched in just a tiny bit, allowing the camera to be pushed forward more and get any prop out of the view with or without duck. And I ended up picking a frame up by mistake because I didn't realize it was only meant for smaller props, the 1.6 millimeter prop, where these are like 1.74 or something, basically a 45 millimeter prop. And I built on it anyway. I had fun building. I learned some stuff, and it flew good. It flew kind of like a traditional Cinewhoop, where it flew a little underpowered. And what that means, excuse me, what that means when it's a little more underpowered is, you know, you're decelerating, and then if you punch into it, you don't just immediately take off. It kind of takes a little more, and it smooths out your movements. Love that feeling. And when you get your set of your PIDs right, it's completely dialed in and amazing. And it's a little bit tougher with these light guys because there's not a lot to work with. I have made it a touch heavier, not much. The first reiteration of this with the deadcat frame was significantly. I think stock the Beta is like 36 grams without a battery, and I end up getting like 54. And there's all your weight. There's the battery life. That the reason I wanted to change that because of that. That was the whole reason. It flew great. It looked good. It fit in the case, but it was much heavier due to hardware that needed to be used, and it just ate me alive. Like, I like how this is. I love how it is, but my flight times went from 4 minutes 30 seconds, give or take, to about 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, and that's not okay. So I had this crazy pursuit of internet searching and trying to figure out what I could do and kind of drawing up designs, and I found the Fractal Pro 75 Max or something like that frame that's meant, I mean, you can do HD, and I've seen one. I think Jake FPV made a 3D print to hold the camera. But other than that, I didn't find anything out there. And again, I don't do social media, so other than YouTube. So my research was just internet. And I did not find anything out there that had anything for this or if it would work. But I took a chance. I got the frame. And I started playing around one night on a Friday night and started seeing what I could come up with to get all the components I needed on here in, you know, a nice, this is the form factor I want. This is like the reason. This thing is absolutely slim, can squeeze through, epic gap. Again, it's a little over 75 millimeters wide. I'd probably close to 80, but still, this thing is a gap killer. Long story short, I was able to use, I can't remember if this came off, what that came off. There's one that came with this frame, but I had this from something else. I just can't remember what it is. It might have been the Flywoo frame, but I have a couple of them, so I was able to literally just use zip ties up against the frame to hold it in place, which creates a little more tension on here, and a couple tiny pieces of foam so it doesn't move back and forth at all. So that was the first, success in what I needed to get it to work. I put another light on in here. I don't know why I'm trying to romance everybody in the dark. There we go. So there, that was out of the way. I may extend the battery lead just so I can push it back a little bit, but it works. It's fine. It's the stock one that come there. Second was, how in the hell am I going to get a camera attached to this and make it work and stay out of the ducts? These ducts were already modified for the last build. The only difference was the slant I had up in the front. That's the same. I mean, that's the only thing that's changed, is they just front to back. And then the way that these sit, they were a little more turned just based on the screw pattern. Who cares? Who cares? So I had a mount that I was using. Between this week, I've been testing and tuning. I took apart the deadcat frame and ended up putting it back onto the whoop frame. And I had this mount that sat on the top of these posts, and then brought a mount out for the camera, which you see right there. And I also had one that sat on the outside of these posts that sat into the plastic frame that did the same thing. And I was looking at that. I'm like, I wonder if I could tweak that. So what I did was, it looks like I bumped the camera. There we go. I chopped it down to the size that I need, and then I put one tiny hole in it with one screw that is attached, can't see it, on the other side, so it's physically attached, and then use some zip ties on the back to hold it in place with a drop of that, was it D600, whatever that fancy rubbery glue is, just to keep it from moving. And once I got it into place, I realized that it worked. Obviously, they're way out of the view. This is meant to cruise, go slow, very mild acro, so not going to be beating the crap out of it. So I don't care that the camera is sticking out super far. It does have the lens protector on there, so I could just swap them out if it breaks. But the purpose of this was to be super quiet, out of the way, unobtrusive, and be able to go through tiny, tiny little places. It's probably a little bigger than my original tiny 75mm Cinewhoop that I had pearl. That is what sparked this whole process. Something as super, super small as you can get it, and get shots that people don't think are coming from something tiny. And again, you could break this out anywhere, and you're not going to bother anybody. It doesn't make any noise. No one's freaking out about it. And it rips. It's still got plenty of power and gets you where you need to go. Acro, I brought it to the range with me, and I got to do my maiden flights and stuff with it there, and it flew great. It didn't feel heavy. Didn't feel nose heavy. I had plenty of power to do what I wanted to do. Again, this one's going to be the tame one, so I feel like I've accomplished exactly what I wanted to do. It stands out. It's super unique looking. The case I reprinted for Pee-wee, it actually fits, which is cool, because once they started changing things up, I was worried about it messing with the form factor that it has to fit into. Hold on, it's right here. So obviously with high canopy, it's supposed to fit in here, and it still does, but even with the battery in it, it still fits. And with the foam I put on there, it doesn't wiggle around, and the block that I have sits here and holds it in place so it doesn't wiggle at all. So that's what I got. I think it came out really good. I'm very, very pleased with the results, and I don't see anything else out there looking like it. So, and as far as I know, with the little internet that I can use, because again, no social media, I haven't found anybody else that's rocking an 04 with the wide angle lens. If there is, I'd love to see it, see what somebody else did, but as far as I know, I'm the only one that's gotten it done this way. I may try to figure out how to change this mount at some point. I like it a lot. If I want to shrink the weight down, remove the zip ties, but it would be cool to get these arms to have a little hook, so you pull it past the frame and it locks in place, just eliminating one more thing from it, and then make that a piece if anybody's interested. So that's where I'm at. I got to pack up. I got a long, busy day ahead of me of adventuring. So thank you for tuning in. Let me know what you think. Is this something that you would fly, or the design, do you like it? Or what would you do different? I am up for anything. So I'm out. Peace.